This is going to be documentation of a real-life human experiment. There are absolutely no medical professionals providing any sort of oversight on this experiment at all. And the purpose of this experiment is to determine whether or not a 40-year-old fat guy can transform himself into Giga Chad in 1 year. The results are yet to be determined.
We may be on the brink of creating not just a new enhanced species of human, but an entirely new kind of being.
Hey, I'm Duncan, a custom home designer and professional builder trying to figure out business and life and have some fun along the way. And I'm going to talk about the business and the process of designing custom homes, building and construction practices, making custom furniture, and a whole lot more. Welcome to Duncan Builds. Let's get going. So I am 40 years old and I am fat. I've carried an extra 50 pounds my entire adult life. In fact, here's a picture of me in middle school, and you can tell by my joyous smile that we were on our way to get lunch. Now, I lost a lot of that weight, but I've carried at least an extra 40 or 50 pounds around my midsection. Not only that, my hair is thinning, my beard is sparse and patchy in a homeless chic kind of way. My skincare routine has been non-existent for my entire life, and my jawline is soft and weak, like a puppy. Aww. But it's not all bad. I have been blessed genetically by being, dare I say, devilishly handsome. I'm also quite tall at 6'5", which apparently people like. And in addition to that, despite decades of treating my body like an amusement park, I have the constitution of a racehorse, and I very rarely fall sick. But obviously, I have not maximized my genetic potential or my health. And to be completely transparent, the majority of my life, I've looked in the mirror and I've known that I could be more.
You're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I think it's time to prove it. So I've decided to dedicate a year of my life not only to improving my physical health and condition, but also to work on improving these attraction features of my face and head as much as possible, with the hope that this year of dedicated effort will yield a lifetime of better habits and better results. Now, I spent 6 weeks in the summer of 2022 putting together a plan for each of these areas that I've identified as areas that I want to improve on. And not only have I put together a plan, I've also identified hacks for each of them that lead me to be far more optimistic about the potential results than I have any right to be, given my track record thus far.
All right, well, if you got to get good at something really fast, there's only one way to do it. Come on. We're gonna need a montage. A sports training montage. Show a lot of things happening at once. Remind everyone of what's going on. And with every...
The experiment officially began in August, and I weighed in at 158 pounds. 4 months later in December, I have lost 22 pounds. And you can see that my mid-body, my trunk has slimmed down a little bit, and I've gained maybe a little bit of extra muscle definition in my shoulders and arms. During this first 4-month period, I was in the gym weight training 2 to 3 times per week. And this is my weight training hack, the Beastly app. It's got a bunch of different programs and video demonstrations for every exercise, which is great because I clearly don't know what I'm doing. And it's made it very easy to walk into the gym and know what to do and how to do it. In order to get my diet sorted out, I started eating Factor 75 meals. I don't like to cook, so I generally have made unhealthy food choices for sake of convenience. But Factor 75 gives me dietitian prepared, pre-cooked meals that have all the convenience I could ask for, and they taste really good. This has been one of the most monumental things in me being able to lose weight, is finally being able to adjust my diet to something that's healthy. And to help support my dietary changes, I've started taking some supplements in the morning, including a men's daily vitamin, a magnesium supplement, a collagen supplement. I also take vitamins D3 and K2. And lastly, I have been on testosterone replacement therapy for a year prior to starting this experiment, and will continue to supplement my testosterone. And then lastly, I am also supplementing my nutrition through the use of whey protein, and on days that I work out, I also take HMB and creatine. And every now and then, I'll use a little bit of pre-workout, but not very often. Now, after the experiment had been running for a couple months, my gym actually installed this Fit3D body scanner, which captures a whole lot of really interesting and in-depth information. So, as the experiment had already started, I wasn't able to capture a baseline, but I did, at the end of this first quarter, go ahead and get my scan, which you can see here. And there's all kinds of interesting data, such as waist to hip ratio, and even captures measurements for biceps, thighs, forearms, calves, so you can really track your progress. And I'll be getting one of these scans done before each of the 3 updates that I'm going to be posting over the next year. Now, moving on to my hair and beard, here in August you can see my hair is really quite thin. Quite a bit of my scalp is visible, and the hair is quite sparse. But in December, 4 months later, you can see my hair is thickened up quite a bit and is not nearly as sparse. Not nearly as much of my scalp is visible at this point. And it's quite apparent when you look at the 4-month difference side by side. Now, my hack for this was using minoxidil foam and a derma roller. And I used this both on my scalp and my beard. And you can see a derma roller is a little ball with tiny needles on it that punctures the skin, not very deep, and promotes blood flow to the area and hair growth. So I would derma roll my scalp and my beard 2 to 3 times a week. And I did have some trouble initially getting my hair caught in the derma roller, but I discovered that by taking short repetitive passes rather than long ones, I was able to keep it from getting tangled. And I would make 2 passes with the derma roller, one straight back and forth and the other side by side. After derma rolling, I would then apply the minoxidil. Now, this is not how the manufacturer recommends you apply it, and I am probably using far too much, but this method has been working well for me, and so I'm going to stick with it. As you can see, I just gently drag the nozzle against my scalp in 5 lines and then spread it around to try to get good coverage of my entire scalp. And in addition to using minoxidil once daily on my scalp, I also once a week will give my hair and beard an oil treatment, and I alternate between castor oil and coconut oil just to make sure that my hair is getting the nutrients that it needs. As you can see, like my scalp, my beard has also thickened up quite a bit, both the individual hairs and the density of hairs. There's starting to be some connection in places where there previously hasn't been, and my sideburns are also starting to come in, which is something I've never really had. The derma rolling technique for my face is similar to my scalp. I just make several short passes, applying light pressure in 2 directions, up and down and side to side. And then again, I'm probably applying too much minoxidil to my face, but I haven't had any negative consequences or side effects from doing it this way, and it's much faster. For my skincare, I've been using the Tiege Hanley Level 3 skincare system. Since using this skincare system, my complexion has cleared up. Also, the bags and dark circles under my eyes have disappeared, as well as the fine lines around my eyes have been greatly reduced. And in general, my skin just looks and feels so much better. And then finally, for my jawline, I want to do what I can to make my jawline more prominent and more squared off and more masculine. Now, losing weight will help sharpen those features, but in addition to that, I've also started using this fitness gum designed to exercise the jaw, as well as a combination of a technique called mewing, which involves tongue placement and breathing through the nose. And in order to do this, I just soften the gum up enough to make it chewable, and then I focus the chewing on the front 4 teeth to get maximum exercise on the jaw muscle itself. So now it's 4 months into the experiment, and I'm quite pleased with the results, and I'm very excited to continue going forward. It might not look like much, but I've lost 22 pounds. I'm starting to see physiological changes in my body that I like. I look and feel better than I have ever, and I'm starting to see results in my hair and my beard, and all of it is just fueling the fire to want to keep going and see how far I can take it. So for the next 3 months, I'm going to be ramping up my weightlifting schedule from 2 to 3 days to 4 days solid. I'm also going to be adding 10 minutes on incline treadmill to each workout, and I really want to push and see how much of this body fat I can lose in this first year of training. I've also got some bad habits that I need to kick, so I'm committing to do that now. And I think the combination of continuing to do what's been working, amping up my exercise routine, and getting rid of some bad habits is going to really help multiply my results over the next 3 months. And I'm really looking forward to coming back in April and showing you what kind of a difference and what kind of a change I've been able to make. Now, I just want to say that the reason I am making these videos, the reason that I've given myself this 1-year transformation challenge and decided to make a 4-part series out of it, is 1, for accountability, because if I'm going to put myself on blast on the internet, I'd better follow up. But 2, I'm hoping that you will find this inspirational and start making those changes that you wanted to make, regardless of your age, regardless of your fitness level, regardless of what those changes might be. So, I'm excited about what the future holds, and I'll see you in April.